There we are. Good afternoon, everyone. Spokane Steve here, and it's time for Strat-O-Matic baseball. And hey, Jack Dawson, welcome. Glad you could join me on this chilly Spokane afternoon. We got a ball game today, St. Louis Cardinals at the New York Mets. The Cardinals come in 1-4, the Mets 0-3, one of two winless teams, the other being the Reds, the only two winless team. The Cardinals are also the only team besides the Athletics who have yet to hit a home run this season. And of course, as I keep saying, it's very, very early. Today's pitchers will be Larry Jaster for St. Louis, a lefty. Jack Fisher is a righty for the Mets. I'm not that familiar with either of these pitchers. Jaster had a pretty good year there, it looks like. 3.26 ERA in 152 innings, only 124 hits allowed. Fisher, 11-14, 3.68, 33 starts, 230 innings. So we'll get to the lineups here. I don't seem to have as much sound from the... Oh, there's the crowd noise. Okay, I guess that's good. And hello, Aaron. Welcome. Glad you could make it as well. I'm going to get to the lineups here in a second. I've got coffee and tea here. So I'm trying to get I'm trying to finish the coffee. That way I only have one cup on the desk, cutting in half the chances of a possible incident or accident, or both. An accidental incident. Oh, Joel, that's right. I forgot about Jaster the Dodger. I did know about that. Thank you for jogging my aging memory. Absolutely. How could I forget Larry Jaster? In fact, I think I looked him up the last time he pitched in this replay. Now it's coming back to me. All right, we're going to go over the lineups quickly. St. Louis will have Lou Brock in right field leading off. Julian Javier plays second base and bats second. Hitting third will be Curt Flood in center field. Tim McCarver is the cleanup man, and he'll do the catching. Charlie Smith will be at third base, hitting fifth. George Kernick, the first baseman. Here's his printed out computer-only card. He hit sixth. Alex Johnson in left field hit seventh. Jerry Buchek will be the shortstop batting eighth, and Jaster bats ninth. For the Mets, it'll be Cleon Jones in right field today, leading off. Ron Hunt bats second and plays second base. Batting third will be Ken Boyer at third base. Cleanup, Dr. Strangeglove himself, Dick Stewart, at first base. Jim Hickman will be in center field, hitting fifth. Ron Swoboda plays left field today and hits sixth. Jerry Grody will do the catching and hit seventh. Roy McMillan at shortstop hits eighth, and Fisher hits ninth. And there's Bob Cole. Greetings, Bob Cole. And 10 degrees in Quebec. Oh my God, yeah, that's... You know, I have a good friend who lives in Calgary. And he asked me, how come it's been so long since you've been up to see me? We both moved up from California. He was originally from Calgary. He relocated to California and then moved back. I was born in Southern California, moved to Spokane in 1989. And I said, because when I leave here, I either want to go west or south. I don't want to go somewhere colder, right? I want to go somewhere where the weather is nicer. And welcome, Gerald. How are you doing this afternoon? Well, I hope we have a little bit tighter game for you today than yesterday's 13-0 extremely one-sided affair. I'm going to get the rest of this coffee out of here, so I'm only dealing with the tea. And we'll get underway. Fisher getting ready to work now. Here's Brock. Left-handed batter. Umpire says play ball. Fisher gets the sign from Grody. And here's the first pitch of the game, a 6-6 to the left-hander. It's going to be a base hit to 16, and it's in there on a 15. So a base hit into right field for Brock, and he's aboard to lead things off. Just getting underway here today. Brock with amazing speed, of course, as you would expect, an asterisk 19. Fisher a 0, Grody a -1. He'll be a 1 through 16 if he's held on, and he will be held on. And here's Javier, and St. Louis is not going to waste any time. 2 through 7, he's going to try for that lead. 11, he does not get it. So Javier will hit away. He could hit and run. That's not a bad idea with the runner held. That's what he's going to do. We're going to try the hit and run. Javier becomes an A on a 4. And it's a ground ball to first base. Brock will advance to second. So on the hit and run, that's going to go 3-1, we'll call it. You could put anything there. Brock to second. And with 1 out, Kurt Flood will be the hitter. Right-handed batter. Flood hit .267 that season in real life. And that's a good idea, Bob. And thank you, Aaron, for that. I didn't know much about Kernick. I think I might even have used a nameless card for him the first game he played. No, I think he was one of the first computer-only cards that I did print out. And I'll show you why when he comes up. Runner on second, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Flood now, a 6-7 to the right-hander. It's a grounder to second base X. That's going to be Ron Hunt. Hunt, a 3E28. Hunt to his left. Here's the play, a 10. It's a 4 on an E28. That smells like trouble. And he boots it. 1 base error on Hunt. So that's going to go E4. Brock into third. That's an error on the Mets. And Flood, an asterisk 15, he'll have to be held on. That would make him a 12. So he'll stay put. And here's McCarver. Runners at the corners, 1 away. New York will play the infield at double play depth. Here's Fisher's pitch to McCarver now, a 3-5 against the right-hander. That's a grounder down to first. Stewart has it. To Hunt, back to first, double play. Holy cow, I got to look at that again. Sure enough, ground ball to first, A. And it's a 3-4-3. Should have been a 3-6-3, but whatever. It's a double play. No runs to hit, 1 left. Kernick would have come up. Now Smith is up next. So we'll get to the Kernick thing in the second inning. At the end of a half an inning, it's Cardinals nothing, Mets coming to bat. Excuse me. And yeah, I could put them where? Here? I mean, I could probably just go like that. What do you think, Bob? Jaster, the Dodger killer, getting loose as we move along to the bottom of the first. And thank you, Gerald. I appreciate that. Yeah, 67 was another year I looked at. I definitely wanted a year in the 60s when I was choosing my replay because I love pitching. And here is Jones to lead things off for the Mets. Jaster ready to work. Pitch to Jones, a 2-3 to the righty. It's going to be a foul ball, third base. Smith has it. And there's 1 down. Let me get another little sip of tea here. Excuse me. All righty. This weather really irritates my bronchial situation. Okay, 1 down and excuse me. Damn. We'll get there. Don't worry. Bear with me. Hunt up now. Here is Jaster. That's better. Jaster ready to work. Pitch to Hunt is a 2-8 to the righty. It's a grounder to short. That's going to be playable for Buchek, and he throws him out. 2 away quickly, and here's Ken Boyer. Let's look at Boyer's numbers that year. 266, 14 homers, 61 RBIs, 415 slugging. So not a great Boyer year, but solid. The pitch to Boyer is a 5-8. That's going to be a fly to right. That's going to be playable for Brock. He's got it. And a 1-2-3 inning for Jaster. And we're scoreless after 1. Have to breathe and relax today. I'm finishing off the last round of the prednisone. And that, compared to the ridiculous amount of coffee I've had today, has given me a little case of the jitters. Smith, Kernick, and Johnson due for St. Louis as we move along to the 2nd inning. If you write team names smaller at the top of the lineups. Oh, you mean here, St. Louis and New York? Instead of all caps, or the print actually smaller? Okay, here we go. Top of the 2nd. 5-5 to Smith. That's a high fly ball to left field. Back goes Swoboda. It's off the wall. Smith rounding. He'll churn into second base with a leadoff double. So Charlie Smith with a leadoff double here in the 2nd inning. And here's Kernick, and I'll show you what I mean. I was looking for a nameless card, but you really can't do it because he's got more on base and not many total bases against righties. Against lefties, very few on-base numbers. But as you can see here, he's got 5, 9, 12 triple chances. Okay, you cannot find a nameless card like that. So I had to make the card. And here he is, left-handed batter. And here's the pitch from Fisher. 4-5 to the left-hander. It's a grounder down to first base. That's going to be handled by Stewart. He'll take it to the bag himself. Runner holds. And here's Alex Johnson now. Runner on second, takes his lead. Pitch from Fisher is a 4-3. It's a grounder to first base X. That's going to be Dr. Strangeglove, and that's always an adventure with a 5 E28. The roll is a 10. It's a 12 on an E28, and it's a one-base error, not surprisingly, on Dick Stewart. So E3, second error of the game already for New York. Smith will take third on the play. Johnson and asterisk 15 will have to be held on. That would make him a 1 through 12. Runners at the corners, double play depth for the Mets, and here's Buchek. 3-7 against the right-hander. That's going to be a base hit right up the middle. It's going to drive in the first run of the game. So Buchek is single. That'll score Smith. It's an open single, so Johnson can take third on that. Single to center. He's a 15. Hickman a -1, a 14. And he's going to go for it. And they're going to concede it and hold the runner at first base. So Johnson will take third on the single by Buchek. 1-0. That's an RBI for Buchek. Here's Jaster now. Let's see what his bunting rating is. He's a C. Okay. They're going to play back. He'll lay it down to stay out of the double play. Here's the sacrifice on a C. It's a 6, and it's a sacrifice bunt. So that moves the runner on first over. We'll just call that a 2-3 sack. Buchek to second. Sacrifice hit Jaster. And it's second and third, and there's 2 down now, and here's Brock. Jaster is 6 NL, is a pretty good hitting pitcher. You could have made a case for swinging away there. And if they'd have pulled the infield in, probably would have. Or at least would have considered it. The pitch to Lou Brock now on a 1-8. It's a tapper down to first. Stewart bobbles it for a minute, now picks it up and takes it to the bag, and that'll do it. 1 run for the Cardinals. On 2 hits, they leave a pair. And they take a 1-0 lead to the bottom of the second. Thank you, Coast Kid, and welcome. I'm glad I'm getting a lot of comments on the lighting, and I'm glad of that. I'm actually thinking I could go to a slightly dimmer soft white, and it might be even clearer. I was going to try that today. This one is 800 lumens. I don't know if they make a 700. I'm really not sure how that works with light bulbs. I just have to go to the store and look at them, I guess. But the soft white does seem to be a vast improvement on the bulb I was using. Stewart, Hickman, and Swoboda due for the Mets here. And let's make sure we've got the right pitcher. That's going to be Jaster. See, that's what happens when I start rambling. Yeah, there's Tony. Welcome, Tony. We got a full house today. 1-0 Cardinals as we move to the bottom of the second. And here's Dick Stewart now. Jaster's ready to work. Pitch to Stewart is a 4-2, and he walks him. So a leadoff walk to Stewart. Stewart very slow, no threat to run, a 1-8 runner. Here's Jim Hickman. Now, always strange for me to see Hickman in center field, but that's where he was playing. From the stretch, pitch from Jaster is a 4-8. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Down goes Hickman. Let's get these lined up here. Here's Swoboda now, right-handed batter. Runner on first, 1 out from the stretch. Jaster's delivery is a 3-6. That's a grounder to third. That's going to be 2. Smith has it down to Javier, over to Kernick, and that's a double play. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no one left. 2 in the books, and it's 1-0 Cardinals. And how are things in Philly, Tony? Hope everyone's having a wonderful afternoon. Great indoor weather. Actually, we hit almost 50 degrees in Spokane today, so I can't complain. I went out to the store earlier, and it felt almost like fall, early fall, or even spring weather. And it'll be Javier, Flood, and McCarver here for the Cardinals. We go to the third. Fisher with the pitch to Javier. And here it is. It's going to be a 6-6 to the right. He gets a double to 2. He'll settle for a long single. And Javier is aboard to lead things off here in the third. Javier an asterisk 16, and he'll have to be held on. It seems like most of these Cardinals are asterisk base runners. Fisher is 0, -1. Grody, that's 15. That'll be a 1-13 should he try for the lead. They're going to give Flood a shot at it first, however. From the stretch, pitch to Kurt Flood is a 1-6, and he pops it up to shortstop. McMillan's there and makes the catch. Now he's going to try for that lead. 2 through 5 are 11. An 8, he does not get it. So he'll stay put with 1 down. And McCarver will be the hitter. McCarver bounced into a double play in the first inning. Here's the pitch on a 1-8. It's a high fly ball to right field. Back goes Jones, and look at that. It's just scrapes the fence and gone for a 2-run blast for Tim McCarver. How about that? A 1-8 homer to 2. And there it is. I'll turn it around for you. He gets the 2 on a fence scraper. A 2-run blast by McCarver puts the Cardinals out in front with a 3-0 lead. And that's their first home run of the season as a team. Now only the Athletics have not hit a home run. 1 down, and here's Charlie Smith. That's a 110. He grounds it right back to the box. Fisher has it, throws him out, and there's 2 away. And Kernick will be the hitter now. 1-9. Swung on and missed strike 3, and that will do it. And I want to thank Aaron again for that information on Kernick. And just in general, for a lot of good information. Aaron has become quite a nice resource for trivia and fact-finding here. And we all appreciate it. That's what it's all about. 2 big ones for the Cardinals, 2 hits, one of them a 2-run blast by McCarver. And as Tim would have said himself, that was by design. Here's Grody, McMillan, and Fisher. Jaster ready to work. And welcome, Gary. Glad you could join us today. It's a 3-9 to Grody. He draws the walk. A leadoff walk to Jerry Grody, a fine defensive catcher. Another personal favorite of mine. I always enjoyed watching Jerry catch a game. And here's McMillan now, Mr. Shortstop, as he was known in the early 60s, possibly even the late 50s. He's a C bunter. He'll swing away as the lefty deals. Oh, I think I've been doing this wrong. Well, I can't do anything about it now. 4-11, swung on and missed strike 3. I think I've been thinking in my mind of Jaster as a righty, so hopefully I didn't screw anything up with that too badly. 1 down, Fisher and A bunter, they'll pull the infield in. That'll make him a B. He's going to lay it down anyway. A 10 on a B. And that's going to be a successful sacrifice bunt by Fisher. Grody will take second. Fisher with the sacrifice. 2 away now, and here's Cleon Jones trying to pick him up. Mets looking for their first run here, trailing 3-0. Here's the pitch on a 4-8 against the righty. Swung on and missed strike 3, and down goes Cleon. 2 Ks for Jaster that inning. No runs, no hits, a man left. It's 3-0 at the end of 3. And welcome Beach Huntington. Beach hunting. Beach hunting. Now I get it. Okay. I'm a little slow sometimes. I was thinking of Huntington Beach. It has nothing to do with that. 3-0 Cardinals. We move along to the 4th. Johnson, Buchek, and Jaster. The pitch to Alex Johnson. It's a 6-3. It'll be a base hit right up the middle for Alex. A leadoff single. The Cardinals have their hitting shoes on today. An asterisk 15. Johnson will also have to be held on. That'll make him a 1-12. Buchek's going to hit away. The right-hander delivers, and a 4-5 is a fly to right field playable. It's going to be Cleon Jones. Takes a few steps to his left and makes the catch for the out. Jaster tried to bunt last time. He's a C. Jaster's going to swing away this time. He's a 6 with end power. And here's the pitch on a 4-6. Fly to center field. That'll be playable for Hickman, and he'll make the put out. 2 down. I don't know why I hit away with him that time. Sometimes I just do things at the spur of the moment, and I know they're not always consistent. But hey, like I like to say, it's just an old man having fun. And that's how we should look at it, I guess. And here's Brock. 3-7 against the righty. That's a base hit into left, an open single. Johnson can try for third on that. The left fielder is Swoboda, a 0. And the runner would be Johnson. He's a 15 with 2 outs. Of course, left field subtracts 2. So he's a 15 to go into third with 2 outs. He's going to go for it. In fact, they'll concede that and hold Brock at first. Brock held on. He's going to try for the lead. 18-16 if he can get it. 2 through 7. 6, he's got it. 1 through 16. And he's in there. Brock has stolen it. Stolen base, Lou Brock. And now they've got 2 runners in scoring position. Still 2 away, so it's up to Javier. 2 outs in the third. 3-0 Cardinals, trying to add to that. Pitch from Fisher on a 2-5. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And Fisher escapes the jam. How about that? No runs on 2 hits. They leave a pair in scoring position. So some nifty pitching by Fisher to get out of that mess. And the Cardinals take a 3-0 lead to the bottom of the fourth. Jaster, the left-hander. I don't know why I had that in my mind backwards. I guess it would help to look at the card. Okay. Hunt. 0 for 1 so far. It'll be Hunt, Boyer, and Stewart. Jaster, the sign from McCarver. Here's the pitch to Hunt now, a 5-6. That's a fly to center field. Flood drifting over. He's there. And there's one away. Ken Boyer, 0 for 1. Flew out to right field in the first inning. Here's Jaster's delivery. A 5-2 to the righty. A grounder to short. That's playable for Buchek. Fires across to Kernick in time. And quickly there's 2 away in the fourth. Here's Dick Stewart now. He walked his first time up. Jaster with a sign. Here's the pitch on a 1-11, and he hits him. Holy crap. So Jaster drills Stewart. He's down to first with 2 away. I'm pretty certain that was not intentional. And here comes Hickman. From the stretch, here's Jaster's pitch, a 3-11 against the left-hander. Down to third base. Smith has it. Throws across in time, and Hickman is retired to end the inning. No runs, no hits. There was a hit batter. And after 4 complete, 3-0 St. Louis. As Fisher gets ready to work here in the 5th, I'll have a little more tea. Flood, McCarver, and Smith due for St. Louis. They're leading 3-0. Fisher into his windup now. Pitch to Flood is a 3-9 to the righty. It's a tapper down to short. That's going to be McMillan. He takes it and throws him out. McMillan, a 3-E20 on this card, but earlier in his career, he was known as Mr. Shortstop and widely considered the best defensive shortstop in the game for a brief period in the early 60s. Fisher delivering to McCarver. It's a 4-9 to the left-hander, and he loses him, ball 4. So Tim McCarver takes first on the 1-out walk. Even McCarver's an asterisk on this St. Louis team. He'll have to be held on. That'll make him a 1-12. And Charlie Smith will hit away. Smith 1 for 2. He had a double, tapped out to the mound. Pitch to Smith is a 6-9 to the right-hander. It's a fly to left field. That will be playable for Swoboda. He's got it, and there's 2 away. And that'll bring up Kernick, left-handed hitter. Here's Fisher's pitch, a 3-7. It's a fly ball into center field. Hickman drifts over and makes the putout. And that'll do it for the Cardinals. No runs, no hits. They leave a man. Still 3-0. As Jaster gets ready to go. And we'll take a short break here so I can give this cat a snack for about the 5th time today. Regulars are probably aware of how much this cat eats, and this cat is not at all overweight. How this is possible completely defies all logic. Okay, Jaster ready to work in the bottom of the 5th. It will be Swoboda, Grody, and McMillan. 3-0 Cardinals. The Mets trying to get on the board. Here's Jaster's pitch, a 4-8. Swung on and missed strike 3. Down goes Swoboda. And for Jaster, that's his 3rd K of the game. Here's Jerry Grody now. Walked his first time up. Pitch from Jaster, a 5-10 to the righty. Grounded to short X. That's going to be Buchek. And that's going to be an adventure. He's a 4E56. And here's the play. On an 8, that will be the error range. And he boots it. What a shocker, huh? So E6 on Buchek. The Cardinals make their first error, and Grody's aboard with 1 down, and the batter will be McMillan. And thank you, Aaron. Brock stole 74 of his 938 in 1966. And I remember 1974 oh so well. I was a little older then. I was around in 66. I would have been 9 years old, actually, at this point in time. And wasn't really a big baseball fan yet. I'd been to a game. Hadn't got the fever quite yet. Jaster from the stretch. The pitch to McMillan is a 4-4. That's going to be a ground ball to third base X. That's Smith. Smith, a solid 3E18, and here's the play. 14, that'll be the error frequency. And to roll of a 4 on an 18, and that's going to be a 1-base error on Smith. So 2 errors in a row. Two errors on each side now. And that's first and second and 1 out. McCarver is going to go out to the mound and have a talk to settle Jaster down a little bit. Jaster visibly upset that he's not sitting back in the dugout right now. A strikeout followed by 2 errors. And you've got an A bunter up there. The Cardinals will bring the infield in, anticipating the bunt. And he's going to lay it down anyway just to stay out of the double play. So on a B, the roll of a 3. Oh my God, he beats it out. Can you believe it? So Fisher beats out the bunt. That's going to be a single, and the bases are loaded. So 2 errors and a beat-out sacrifice bunt. And Jaster is in a jam, not really of his own doing so much as his teammates. The Cardinals will be back in double play depth. They lead 3-0, but the Mets have the bases loaded and 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. And here's Cleon Jones. I'm not sure if the Mets would rather have anybody else at the plate right now. And here's the pitch to Cleon, a 5-8. That's a fly ball to right field. That's going to be playable for Brock, but that's going to be deep enough for Grody to tag up and score. So a sacrifice fly for Cleon. He'll pick up an RBI on that, and it's 3-1. 2 away now, first and second, and here's Ron Hunt. The pitch to Hunt, a 2-9 against the left-hander. That's a fly to left field. That's going to be playable for Alex Johnson. He's got it. And that will retire the side. The Mets score a run on a hit, an unearned run. Well, I'm going to start marking. I was marking those here. It really doesn't make any difference. It's the pitcher that matters. So I'm going to start doing it that way. Still learning as I go along, as we only begin the second week of the 1966 season. My God, it's practically newborn. Oh, the HCs. I'm trying to keep it PG, guys. That's all I can say. My normal everyday vocabulary is probably would get me thrown off of YouTube, maybe. I don't know. It might. I grew up in an Italian household. That's all I'm going to say. Here's Alex Johnson now. Fisher with the pitch. 3-8. It's a single to 5, and he's got it. The little bleeder just gets past the glove of Boyer, and Alex Johnson's on with the leadoff single. And yeah, big surprise, he'll have to be held on. That makes him a 1-12. I guess Buchek. I've got to look now. Okay, Javier, Flood. No, Charlie Smith doesn't, and Kernick doesn't. So 3 of the batters in the St. Louis lineup are not asterisk Steelers. 3 of the 8, so 5 are. I might lay it down with Buchek if not for the fact that the pitcher is up next. So he's going to swing away. From the stretch, here's Fisher's pitch on a 5-6, and that's going to be a 2-base advance single into right field. Johnson will go steaming into third on that, and the Cardinals have runners at the corners and nobody out. Pitcher due up. That's the C-bunting Jaster, who's a 6 hitters card. They're going to stay back, and Jaster's going to hit away. Jaster, a left-handed batter, 4-10, fly to center field X. That's going to be... Who is that going to be? Oh, my God, it's Hickman. Hickman's a 4E13. And here's the play. Hold your breath. It's an 8, and that's a single with a 2-base advance. Hickman can't play it. A playable ball. They're going to rule that a single for Jaster. Very generous scoring in this broadcaster's opinion. That'll be an RBI, and Buchek will steam into third, and it's 4-1. Still nobody out now. 3 consecutive singles. Fisher, an S7 as far as endurance goes. Now what are we going to do? Better get somebody up in the bullpen. They had Eilers. Let me look at something here. I got to go to my computer game. What in the world is going on here? Bear with me. I'm trying to find this Dave Eilers. Yeah, he's probably not what you want in this situation. Or printing up a card for Eilers. He's a computer-only card. And they would have, what they really probably want is a left-hander. Hepler? Let's get Hepler and Eilers up for the Mets, shall we? Okay, now that I've got that sorted out, here's Brock. Jasper does not have to be held on. They'll stay at double play depth. Here's the pitch to Brock on a 1-7. Oh, that's a good thing they didn't hold him on. A ground ball A+. So that's going to be a double play. Hunt to McMillan to Stewart. A run will score on that. Buchek comes in to score. But that they'll take it. They'll give up the run for the 2 outs. It's 5-1 St. Louis now. 2 away, and here's Javier. And here's the pitch. On a 4-5 to the right-hander. Fly to right field, playable for Cleon Jones. He's there and makes the catch for the out. But the Cardinals add on 2 on 3 hits, no one left on. And they take a 5-1 lead to the bottom of the 6th. And while Jasper gets loose, I'm going to have a little more tea here. It's my throat's starting to freeze up again. There we go. All right. Bottom of the 6th. Boyer, Stewart, and Hickman do for the Mets. Jasper. Jasper is pitching a brilliant game here. He's only allowed 1 hit. He's given up 1 run. He shouldn't have even given that up. The 2 errors allowed that to occur. So Jasper is on top of it. He delivers to Boyer, 2-11 against the lefty. It's going to be a foul ball, playable by McCarver. He'll catch that one, and there's 1 down. Dick Stewart walked and hit by the pitch. Jasper, from his windup now, comes to the plate on a 3-10 to the righty, fly to left field. That's shallow. In comes Johnson, still coming, and he's there to catch up with it, and quickly there are 2 away. Jasper in S7 as far as endurance goes. And here's Hickman. 5-2 to the righty. It's a tapper to short. Buchek scoops it up on the run and throws him out. 1-2-3 go the Mets. And after 6 complete, it's 5-1, and Larry Jasper would seem to be in complete control. Partly aided by the fact that I may have treated him as a right-hander for the first couple of innings. I hope that wasn't a major... Oh, God, I apologize. I shouldn't even laugh, really. It's not that funny. Flood, McCarver, and Smith due for St. Louis. Fisher hanging on by a thread, by the way, right now. He's close to coming out of this game. He gave up 3 hits last inning. And as Aaron points out, Ron Hunt, Mr. Hit by Pitch, he has the record. Exactly, Bob. The single season record, unless you count Huey Jennings' pre-1900 mark. I don't know how everybody feels differently about that. I kind of think that Hunt has the record. At least that's how it was portrayed to me when I was young. It was 50 or 51 in a season, something like that. Anyway, here we go to the 7th. Fisher ready to work to Flood. Here's the pitch on a 1-7. It's a fly to center field. That's going to be playable for Hickman, who makes the catch. As you can see, I have trouble in my mind still relating Hickman to playing center field. I'm more familiar with Hickman, of course, from his Cub days. Corner outfield first baseman all the way. And here's McCarver now. A 5-8 to the left-hander. McCarver taps it down to first base. Dr. Strangeglove will take it to the bag himself. Fisher was there waiting to throw, but, you know, so the less Stewart has to handle the ball, probably the better off he's going to be. And here's Charlie Smith. The pitch from Fisher, a 4-5 to the right-hander. It's a fly to right field. Cleon Jones will drift over a bit and put that away. An easy 1-2-3 seventh for Fisher. How about that? And we go to the bottom of the seventh, still 5-1. So Jaster's starting to smell that complete game now. He is an S7. Swoboda, Grody, and McMillan do. Jaster into his windup. Here's the pitch to Ron, a 6-8. That's going to be a tapper down to shortstop. Buchek will take it. Throws across to Kernick, and that's one down. And here's Grody now. Grody walked and reached on an error, scored the only run for the Mets. The pitch from Jaster, a 3-7 against the left-hander, and he walks again. So Grody, being very selective up there today, walks for the second time. He's a 13, not an asterisk. Jaster a +1, McCarver a -1. Now he's going to stay put. McMillan will hit away. One down, runner on first. From the stretch, the pitch to Roy McMillan is a 6-6, and that's going to be down the left field line and extra bases on a 2. That's going to be a double. Grody will have to hold up at third, but it's a 1-out double by McMillan, and now we'll have a hitter for Fisher. Second and third, one down. Fisher worked 7 innings. Allowed 10 hits. There were a couple of errors behind him. He didn't walk. Oh, he did. He walked 1. Struck out, looks like 2. He allowed 5 runs, 4. Wait. No, it was Jaster that had the unearned run, so it's 4 for Fisher. Coming up will be lefty, righty, righty. You know, Eiler's pitched in this game in real life. I'm going to give him a shot with his computer-only card, simply because it might be the only chance we get to use it. And now they need a hitter. They used quite a few hitters in this game in real life. Hiller and Cranepool, but with the lefty Jaster out there. Billy Murphy played in this game in real life. He'll be the hitter. He's a right-handed hitter. Why not? Pinch hitter Billy Murphy. And let's see what St. Louis is going to do. They lead 5-1, and there's 1 out, second and third. They'll stay back. Their main objective here is to avoid the big inning. And here's the pitch from Jaster now. He's only allowed 2 hits on the afternoon. The pitch to Murphy is a 1-6. That's a tapper down to third. And that's going to be made by Smith. Runners have to hold as he throws him out. So Murphy's retired on the grounder to third. Runners have to hold, and with 2 down, it will be up to Cleon Jones. Jones drove in the Mets' only run so far with a sacrifice fly back in the 5th. And here's the pitch from Jasper. That's going to be a 1-7. Tapper down to short. Buchek has it and throws him out. And the Mets strand 2 in what could have been their last real shot at getting to Jaster. No runs a hit. They leave 2 in scoring position. And at the end of 7, it's 5-1 St. Louis. And here comes Eilers now. Rather oversized, computer game only card. In fact, there's a good chance that I'll have to refer to that. You can read the right-handed side pretty good, but on the left-handed side, I've got it up on my other computer as Kernick, Johnson, and Buchek will come to bat. So this might be the first time we've had computer card versus computer card in this replay. Not that that means a damn thing, but I'm still trying to find my style of announcing. At first, I was trying to be just basically cookie cutter, say the play. And there was one game that got so blown out of hand, I started getting kind of silly with it, and that was kind of fun too. So I'm still trying to feel it out a little bit. We'll just let it develop as it does, I suppose. Here's Kernick now. Kernick today is 0 for 3, and here's Eilers, a righty, as he delivers to Kernick on a 1-9, swung on and missed strike 3, and down goes Kernick. And Kernick may come out for defense just to make it easier for me to flip this lineup over. Here's Johnson now. The pitch to Alex. That's going to be a 4-11 to the righty. That's base hit into right field for Alex Johnson. And he's 3 for 4. He's been on board all 4 times today. He reached on an error and 3 singles. Eilers a 0. It's the same situation. Johnson will have to be held on. And Buchek will be the hitter. Buchek's 2 for 3. And here's the pitch. A 6-7 to the righty. That's going to be a single to 10, but that will be a grounder to, it's a ground ball B. It doesn't say to who. It doesn't say on the computer card either. So that's a force play. I'm just going to call it 4-6. We'll have to make something up here. So Johnson's forced, Buchek's aboard. And Jaster's going to bat. He's a 6N left-handed hitter. The pitch is a 5-12, and that's going to be a ground ball to second base X. That's going to be Hunt, a 3E28. Here is the play on a 17. He makes the play. Nice play by Ron Hunt to retire the side. So 4-3X. We haven't had a lot of X plays today. No runs a hit, 1 left. And St. Louis will make some defensive replacements for Jaster. First of all, at shortstop, we're going to get Buchek out of there. He's going to be replaced by Dal Maxville, a 2E28. And I try to do this for all the teams if they're leading, unless it's a huge blowout or something. Tolan could play first, a 4E8, or Francona. But really, these guys are not any improvement at all on, well, I guess Tolan is. All right, Tolan will come in for Kernick and play first base. 4E8, I think, is preferable to a 3E26. I used to have a chart that you could look up all that stuff. But I'm going by memory now. Okay, Jaster's ready to work here in the bottom of the 8th. Cardinals up 5-1. It will be Hunt, Boyer, and Stewart for the Mets. Jaster into the windup. Here's the pitch. It's a 4-10 to Hunt. Catcher's card X. That's McCarver, a fine 3E3. And here's the play. On a 3, that will be a foul out to the catcher. McCarver makes the play. 1 down, and Boyer will come to the plate now. Boyer's 0 for 3 today. Here's Jaster's pitch on a 5-5. It's a grounder to short X. That's Maxville now. 2E28. Into the hole. Here's the play on an 18. Maxville has it. Throws across in time. So on an 18, I have to just look and see if actually Buchek would have made that play. I was wondering if Buchek would have made that play if he was still at short, and yes, he would have. And here's Stewart with 2 down. Here's Jaster's delivery, a 3-7, tapper down to short. Maxville again throws Stewart, takes his time and throws Stewart out. 1-2-3 go the Mets. And Jaster now can smell that complete game as the Cardinals lead it 5-1 after 8 complete. Dave Eilers is going to come out again with Brock, Javier, and Flood due up. And here's the pitch to Brock. On a 1-6, that's a fly to right field. That'll be playable for Cleon Jones. He'll make the catch. There's 1 down. And here's Javier. Before I do that, I almost forgot to do this, put in a plug for my buddy, Jeffrey Guterman, who does a fine Strat-O-Matic presentation. There's the link right there. If you haven't checked him out yet, and I know many of you already know Jeffrey, but if you don't or you haven't, by all means, check that out. He does a magnificent presentation. And I'd also like to remind you to hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Okay, here we go. 1 out, Eilers to Javier. And here's the pitch on a 3-5. That's going to be a tapper down to second. That'll be handled by Hunt. Flips over to Stewart, and that's 2 down. And here's Kurt Flood. Hepler's still loosening in the New York pen. And here's Eilers' delivery to Flood. On a 6-4, that's going to be a swung on and miss, strike 3. How about that? Eilers does a nice job in his 2 innings of work. 1-2-3 go the Cardinals. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Larry Jaster's the story now. He'll be facing Hickman, Swoboda, and Grote. He's got a 4-run lead. He's looking for that complete game. The lefty into his windup. The pitch to Hickman, a 2-4. Pop up, left side. That's playable for Maxville. He's got it. 1 down. And here's Swoboda now. 0 for 3 today. Jaster into the windup. The pitch to Swoboda, 1-7. Grounder to third base. Scooped up by Smith. The long throw in time. And the Mets are down to their final out. And it'll be Jerry Grote. Grote's been on base all 3 times today. Walked twice and reached on an error. Like I say, he scored the only run for the Mets. Jaster into the windup. The pitch to Grote on a 3-11. It's a base hit into left field. And Grote reaches in all 4 appearances today. And should they let McMillan hit? I kind of think if I were the Mets, I would bat for McMillan. They do have another shortstop. They have the youngster, Bud Harrelson, who could come in and play. I'm not sure who would hit, though, because their entire bench seems to be left-handed. God, it almost is. Eddie Brissoud. I'm not sure he's any better than McMillan. He's got a little more power, but They're 4 runs down. We're going to let McMillan bat. I don't see any vast advantage to pinch hitting here. The pitch from Jaster is a 4-3 to the righty. It's a fly ball to right field X. That's Brock, however. He's a 3E20, which begs the question. Here's the play on a 7, on a 3. Brock makes the catch, and the ball game is over. A 4 would not have made that play. Brock, a 3, is able to haul it down. No runs, a hit, 1 left, and that's your final. Cardinals 5, Mets 1. Mets remain a winless team along with the Cincinnati Reds. Cardinals improved to 2-4. Mets dropped to 0-4. I want to thank you guys for joining me today, hanging out, making a dreary afternoon just a little bit brighter and a little bit more fun. Jaster, what a story, huh? What a game. Complete game for Jaster. The only run he gave up was unearned. A 3-hitter for Larry Jaster. Apparently, he's a Met killer also. He walked 3 and hit a batter. And he struck out 2, 3. He struck out 3. So Jaster with the win. Let's go to my spreadsheet here. That evens his record at 1-1. He came into the game 0-1. Fisher takes the loss. Fisher's 0-2 on the young season now. Eilers, the computer-only card, did a really nice job. 2 innings, 1 hit, no walks, struck out 2. So for the Cardinals, 5 runs on 11 hits, they committed 2 errors. The Mets also committed 2 errors, scored 1 unearned run on 3 hits. And that's the final. Cardinals 5, Mets 1. Tomorrow's ball game will be, I had it up here a minute ago, Atlanta Braves at Philadelphia Phillies. That will be Blasingame versus Bunning. So please join me for that one. Thanks again, everybody. I appreciate all the support, and I'll look for you tomorrow. In the meantime, this is Spokane Steve saying have a wonderful evening. Take care, everyone.